Palestinian affairs analyst and former spokesperson for the Palestinian Authority Nour Odeh, joins us now from Ramallah to discuss the latest developments. Nour, thanks so much for joining us on this news hour. I'd like to start with talking about this truce deal that Egypt has proposed, even Egypt saying that it is an ambitious deal. What are your thoughts on their proposal?
Well, certainly, I mean, Egypt and Qatar have been doing their best since the beginning of this war to try and bring about its end. And we all understand that the only way for this war to end is through a political arrangement. I think the problem that Egypt is running into is that it is um, trying, in a way, to get the Palestinian house in order while at the same time mediating with Israel and the U.S. To end Israel's genocidal war against Gaza, and I think that's why it's very ambitious. And quite frankly, I'm not very optimistic it would work. I think the better way forward would be to get the Palestinians together to make sure that an arrangement that is functional, that is inclusive, and that can be endorsed by the Palestinian people is reached, bolstered by Arab and regional support, and then negotiations on ending this atrocious war can move forward much more quickly. But right now, in a way, Israel and the US are given veto power over these discussions, and that is just not a formula that can succeed, in my opinion.
When this war is over, what would you like to see happen in Gaza in terms of who takes over? Because Israel seems to want one thing, and the US has said that they would prefer Palestinian officials to have more of a say, like those who run the occupied West Bank.
Well, I think what's more important than who is how. First of all, it's been quite disheartening and quite offensive, really, to watch the United States and Israel and some Western countries deal with Palestinians as if they are incompetent, unable to decide and choose who can lead them, and to really have the audacity and the sense of entitlement to discuss names and arrangements of Palestinian leadership without Palestinian participation. For me, what is important, what matters, what will be the key to success is to ensure that a credible, inclusive leadership collective is formed, so that Palestinians can endorse it. If there is a sense among Palestinians that whoever will be leading them after the war is appointed by their occupier, by the very country that has committed all these crimes against them, or by its backer who is complicit in these crimes and who is funding this war, who's providing the weapons for this war, in this case, the United States, then there it will be nearly impossible for such a leadership or a leader to have community buy-in, and it will be basically impossible for him to govern. So my concern really is about the process through which this leadership body is formed. It's less important who, because ultimately this leadership body, this leadership arrangement would have to be temporary until elections can be held, because
Mm.
the only way to have a real legitimate representative leadership body is through elections.
Mm.
Palestinians have to decide who can lead them and in which direction.
And of course, Noor, before any of that happens, Gazans have to get through this war. And we're even getting reports that Benjamin Netanyahu wants the voluntary relocation of Gazan citizens. Some Israeli officials saying that countries in Africa and South America have said, yes, we will take in Gazans for a particular price from Israel. What do you make of that?
Well, I'm glad you asked because I think this is a very important point. And I think that from the day one, Israel's objective, undeclared objective thus far was to expel as many Palestinians as possible from the Gaza Strip. And we saw leaked documents, official documents from the Israeli military intelligence ministry saying that much, that the best case scenario would be to ethnically cleanse Gaza of its population. And then we heard formulas like thinning out the population and now so-called voluntary migration. Of course, when you keep in mind that Tens of thousands of Palestinians have been killed and injured, and thousands are under the rubble, that more than half of the population are starving, that nearly the entire population has been displaced. There's nothing voluntary about it. What is happening is a war crime, and what Israel wants to do is to cloak that war crime with the falsehood of voluntary migration. Palestinians do not want to leave Gaza, even though Israel has turned it into hell on earth. What needs to happen is for the world to stop this war, to hold accountable those who've been committing crimes, and to move very quickly through something like a Marshall Plan to relocate Palestinians to their homes, to clear the area of unexploded ordnance, to reconstruct quickly this enclave, and to give Palestinians a chance on life, because that's what they want and that's what they deserve.
Nour Odeh, it's been really good to get your thoughts speaking to us. Thank you so much.